Hey guys, it's Mark from North 7 Outdoors. Welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to do my rod and reel review from 2022. What I liked, what I didn't like. Coming up. Alright, so I'm mostly a finesse angler, but here's why I think I'm a good guy to do fishing lure reviews and some rod and reels reviews. Number one, I've got zero affiliation with any of the brands I'm talking about. Number two, I'm not the world's greatest fisherman. But that's kind of a good thing because I need gear to be up to potential to carry my lackluster skill set. And I spend a whack of time on the water as a third thing. So I mean, I do put especially finesse gear through the paces. So let's talk about, I'm just going to pull rods and reels out randomly from my side and we'll start talking about it. And the fourth reason why this is a good video to watch is because I work for my money. You know, this isn't, I'm gonna friggin' work from home and do all this stuff. Granted, right now I kind of have a sweet gig, but most of my life I worked the crappy jobs that saw an 80% turnover and people just couldn't hack it, and I friggin' thrived in that environment. So I work for a living, so I hate, sorry, I don't want this to go on a rant, but I'm just going to tell how it is. I hate people that put on gear review and they're like, man, new Shimano product just came out. Whoa, look how sweet it is, man. Okay, who gives a crap how sweet something is when you first get it? If it breaks in the first 4 or 5 outings, or it becomes much less clean or clean-cut product, I don't have $400 to spend on a product for 3 outings. I mean, that is insanely stupid. So if I tell you that it's worth money if you work a shitty job and you bust your ass. Sorry to swear, but that's how it is. Alright, so this is the Lew's Tournament Pro Speed Spin, or whatever their spinning reel is. It's actually on clearance on Tackle Warehouse. I picked this up from Amazon Canada site. It was like $102, so I mean that's like $75 American at the time. I've had this reel for 2 years. It casts like a dream. I haven't had any issues with it, and I put it through its paces. So you are seeing a gear review on a product that I've run for 2 years, about 20 to 40 outings a year. So there we go. That is a very good reel for the price point. I just picked up this rod, so I can't really say if it's good or bad. Because I hate when people are like, spend your money on a product and they've got some kind of backdoor dealing with a product, and do they really care about you? I mean, probably not. I mean, they care about the $5 grand they're getting for plugging some kind of crap. Alright, so this is a reel that you can't even get new anymore. They discontinued it, but these things are bulletproof. I have 2 of these and I picked them both up for like $130 American, or like $180 Canadian, and they have no business being as cheap as that. And that's the 4th gen Revo Premier. I mean, these things are as bulletproof as you are going to get from a bait casting reel. These things cast like a dream. I love them, and even though, again, I've had them for years, I do not do a lot of gear reviews. I don't like to tell people how to spend their money. But if you get a chance at a swap meet or something, or American Legacy, you can buy some used product. If you get a chance to pick one of these up on the cheap, I mean, you will not regret it. I promise you that. Alright, so this one's kind of a weird one. So this is a St. Croix Legend Extreme. So Canadian, this is like an $800 rod. American is probably like $600. As I get more and more into fishing, now that I've been pretty hardcore tournament angler for quite a few years now, it's important for me to, as my skill set goes up, to get gear that I think will complement it. And the Legend Extreme was kind of a weird one because I've never bought an $800 rod. I mean, I do have another Legend Extreme, but for this one, it was okay. I'm putting this as a review because there's people out there that watch this. If you watch my videos, at the very least, I guarantee you when it comes to bass season, I'm out there grinding pretty much as good as anyone else in Ontario. for time-wise on the water anyways. I don't feel like my skill sets are good enough to justify using this rod. I don't feel like it takes me to the next level. Is that an issue with the rod, or is that an issue with me? I don't know, but I just want to tell people, if you don't spend a lot of time on the water, or even if you do, I mean, be very careful when you spend, you know, a large amount of money on rods with what your expectations are on how it's going to make you a better fisherman. Okay, so here's an interesting one. So this is a Shimano Vanford. So I bought this last year, ran it the whole season. I missed out buying a Stratic CI4 Plus. They discontinued it and came out with a Shimano Vanford. The Shimano Vanford's a good reel. Now, here's why it kind of gets a thumbs down. Because people are going to be like, holy, Shimano Vanford is the greatest spinning reel of all time. You know, it was made by God, not man. That's what people will say. And it's a good reel. But the most important thing, and I've always been right, even though I didn't know this before LiveScope came out, I've always seen the most important thing, especially with finesse fishing, and primarily with finesse fishing, is casting distance. It's the most important thing. More important than drag, more important than your rod. It's kind of like flipping. You flip into the dirtiest stuff. Well, what if you can't get the fish out? Well, you worry about that after. Same thing with the fishing reel. You cast as far as you absolutely can. And if you have a crappy rod that lets you down later, or a bad hook, or the drag sucks on it, you worry about that later. But the most important thing is getting that extra 10 or 15 feet in your casting distance to have more opportunities on the water. Shimano Vanford is a good reel. My disappointment comes because I have a Daiwa Ballistic LT. The Daiwa Ballistic LT casts farther than the Vanford. That's a fact. I've got no pony to ride in either of these companies. The LT, Daiwa Ballistic LT, casts farther than the Shimano Vanford. That's a fact. However, that being said, when I had the opportunity to buy a high quality fishing reel, I had an opportunity to buy another Vanford or the new Daiwa Ballistic MQ. And I bought the MQ because I haven't tried it yet, but the LT is a better spinning reel than the Vanford. Not that the Vanford's, you know, chopped meat. It's just the fact that you cannot cast as far as a Vanford as on a Daiwa Ballistic LT. Whew, this is really feeling aggravated here. I don't know why. Alright, so here's a pretty decent combo. So this is a Daiwa AGS Tatula Elite Cody Meyer. I love Cody Meyer. He just reminds me so much of myself. He goes out there, he catches a lot of fish. He doesn't usually catch the right fish, but he will cash a check in most tournaments. He's, you know, the real working, grinding man. I picked this up for 200 bucks Canadian, like $140 American. It's been a pretty good rod. If you can get it for anywhere near this is a normal Daiwa Tatula Elite. If you can get it anywhere near the Toledo, the normal Elite price point, I love it. For 200 bucks Canadian is what I got for taxes in. No complaints, great rod. Ike Revo here, I snagged this for 150 bucks. There's nothing wrong with the Ike Revo. Is it as good as the Vanford? No, it's definitely not as good as Daiwa Ballistic LT, but for 150 bucks, it's not bad. Alright, so this one, let's talk about the rod. I've got 3 of these. These are the Old Fate Black. I've got 3 of these spinning rods. I'll give them to someone on the boat. If they break, I don't really care. But I still use these rods. I mean, these rods are... I've never heard much good about 13 Fishing reels, but I mean, the Fate Black rods, the neon green ones, I mean, they rock. I mean, I picked up most of them, I think, for like 70 bucks Canadian. I mean, I love these rods. But this year I had a chance to pair it up with a Helios, a Kuma Helios, and they've got a lot of praise for them for steelheading. If you're a big steelheader, I'm not. I've never gone once in my life, but I've read enough reviews where drag is paramount. I assume because you have such light line, your drag is really paramount. This thing, look, I can't really speak for quality. Again, when I say I can't speak for quality, that means I've run this for 1 year. I didn't run it for a week. I didn't run it for 2 weeks. I didn't run it for 6 months. I ran this for one complete bass season. I guess 6 months actually on the water, but one hardcore bass season. 0 complaints on the Helios. A Kuma Helios. I picked this up again for like $100 Canadian on Amazon Warehouse. This is a great, for distance wise, it's pretty comparable to the Ike Revo or the Vamford. I mean, you can huck this thing a mile. It's super light. Again, if someone in the boat, I'll give it to them. They have fun. If they damage something, I'm not really going to cry about it too much. So there we go, guys. That's my rod and reel review from 2022. Yeah, that was probably the most honest rod and reel review you will see in your lifetime. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.